Welcome to Living the Dream Iowa Life. I'm your host, Hannah Nuss, and each weekday we'll share enthusiasm for what's possible and dive into the stories of Iowans living their dream lives right here in the heartland. Whether you're chasing a big goal or just looking for a little inspiration, we've got you covered. Let's change the world together. This is Living the Dream Iowa Life. Let's go. Heyo, welcome to Living the Dream Iowa Life podcast. This is where all the magic happens. All the magic in this entire state. I know, right here, right now, just coming to you free on your speakers. You didn't even know what you were a part of. Now you do. It's the magic hour. Welcome. It's earlier than you thought, right? You thought it was like a mid-afternoon thing. Wrong. Here we are. So today's grounding question is what desires are you acting on? Ooh. That's a deep, fun one. And I want to start with this one because right now I'm reading about the fifth chakra and understanding that a little bit deeper. And I think this again, in our truth, in our truest existence, this is where we create again. And I think, yesterday I talked about kind of the birthplace of local. I think this is where I created again. This is where we're putting the thing out there to the world. We're trusting it. And we're allowing us, our expansion, to expand into the world. And that's such a higher chakra thing. I thought, the second chakra definitely is with creativity, but I read in the book that really that is more of the sexual creativity. And the creativity is more creating life. This desire, acting on our desires. And I will just say this when it comes to desires. I was in relationships through high school, through college, and each and every one of those relationships, I had convinced the person I was with that we would be the cool aunt and uncle. We would never have children. We would just travel and be super cool, and it'd be awesome. And we'd be just really wealthy, and we'd be able to spoil all of them, and we'd never have to be anywhere all that specific. We could just kind of keep it on and doing really cool stuff. And what would that look like? Right? How fun. What a great life. And then I met my now husband. And I think maybe this is how we know. I knew the second that I met him that I was going to marry him. I'm not sure that he knew the same things, but I knew, like, this is the person. And shortly after that, there was this very intense desire that I had never felt before to make sure that his gene line mixed with mine, to make sure that we created superhuman babies, that we improved the genetic condition of this planet by putting our spawn on it. And that seems like such a weird thing. And I had never felt that desire prior. Literally, just ask any of my ex-boyfriends. Like, I was convincing them we were just going to be an aunt and uncle. We were not going to be parents. And so I also think that when I met my husband, that was the first time that I was in a feminine side of things. Every other relationship I had to take on the masculine. I knew that and I have much more masculine tendencies of just like I'm fire. I am going, I am doing the thing. I will do it. I will get it done. I will see it through. It will be right. I lean much easier into my masculine, but I do think that I came from an environment where that was also a requirement, where feeling was not safe. And so I very easily just took on the masculine role in most of my relationships. And when I met Jordan, it was the first time that I had ever, first off, given into a desire to just like go for it, because he had messaged me about something completely different, and I looked at his picture and I was like, we got to take this smoke show on a date. He is essentially every girl who grew up in the 90s dream boy. Like, come on. He was it. Hookah shell necklace and all. I don't think he was still wearing that when we met, but it was in his pictures. It was in his profile pictures for sure. And he for sure had frosted tips through high school. I mean, everything you could imagine and more. And so giving into that desire to even message him, which is not something I would have ever felt safe to do, especially not with a smoke show like that. Come on. No, is that for me at all? No. And I don't know what gave me that burst of power. I think it was probably the first time that I had ever acted on my desire to go for, the 10, even though I was probably pretty closely considering myself a 2, especially at that point. And so I gave into that desire. And then I think a beautiful thing happened. Like, you met an equal part power in that relationship. And I do think that that is what we're looking for. We're looking for someone who can rebalance, and not that as females we have to get out of our masculine and we have to get into our feminine, even though it is a really beautiful place to be. That really the goal is you can find that yin yang, that power, beauty balance. And in every other relationship, I was forced into my masculine. I did not believe that these men were going to be able to take care of me. I did not believe that they were going to certainly be able to take care of me and a child. They would not have had enough power or strength or ability or intelligence or really anything that I wanted in a mate. They did not have most of it. If any of it. And so there was no desire to create life with these people. Because honestly, I knew that it was going to take me backwards. Like, if I have to take care of these kids all by myself, and that's not a partnership, and I'm with this lazy piece of crap human being, or if I'm going to be in a relationship where someone is abusing me, no, I'm not going to have that for my kids. I'm not going to do that in front of my kids. I'm not going to put them in that position. I am not going to have children with this person. I feel no desire for that. And whatever that looked like, I was certainly not in a safe enough place to feel that desire to create life. And certainly life is created in all sorts of undesirable, unsafe spaces, without question. Like, creating life can still happen even if we don't feel safe, even if we don't have that balance of feminine and masculine, even if we don't feel like our partner could take care of this child, life can still be created. But that desire portion. And I think this is where we can start climbing together, climbing as a couple, climbing as ourselves, is when we are in a position to rebalance, to balance feminine and masculine together in stride. Like, if you need to be soft right now, I can go out. And I think it was honestly the first time that someone could bring equal parts armor. Like, I knew that we were going to be able to battle whatever life was going to give us together. I felt like I wasn't going to be the man out in front for the first time in my life. Thank goodness. I was not going to have to wage war the whole time. I'm perfectly willing to. I'm perfectly capable of going on a journey of my own, of hunter-gatherer, getting the food, bringing it back into the kids. I can do that if it's necessary. Is it necessary? Because there's also this very lovely, beautiful side that comes with that softness. And what does that balance look like? And can we create a beautiful life staying this balanced, staying in this ebb and flow of what this relationship dynamic looks like? And yeah, the answer is we can, because there is that beauty of that balance. And it starts from a core of safety. And I cannot stress that enough. Safety and trust and those intrinsic human needs, kind of at the core of whatever that relationship is, of whatever gets us to a place where we can trust to follow our desires and our passion. We can trust that we can create with one another or separate from one another. We can trust that because we have this foundation of safety, of our human needs being met. And without those being met, we'll kind of just continue cycling. I don't like that for any of us. Because our human experience really is about climbing up, experiencing the next levels. And I have a hard time with this one, probably more than anything else, and maybe more than anyone else. I have a hard time accepting that not everybody's going to make it. Don't say it. Don't believe it. Don't do it. No. That can't be true. Right? That can't be true. No. That's not real. That's not real. Everybody has to climb. Everybody wants out of this debilitating cycle. People want an out. And the truth is, they do. Right? I mean, Western society is probably one of the most addicted societies to antidepressants, to anti-anxiety, to all of these different medications that are supposed to be giving us relief, giving us peace, giving us ease. And the truth of all of that is we are the solution. And not everybody. So this is not medical advice. I am not saying get off of all of your pills and meds and just quit cold turkey because there is a better way through life. Please do not do that. That is not a great idea. But I am confident in saying that we are capable when we are listening. We are capable of getting out of this cycle of uproot, root, create, power, cower, fall back. Uproot, reroute, unroot, reroute, create a mess because maybe we weren't safe, we weren't properly rooted. We just created because we had a desire and we acted on it. Not out of safety, just out of pure desire, want, human need. We just acted because it felt good. Felt good to do something about it. Felt great, in fact. Ugh. Finally felt in our bodies. Finally felt passion coursing through our veins again. Even if it was unsafe, it's like, oof. But there I was. I felt her. I felt the passionate, excited person. And I think this is why we go to anger so quickly. Anger and outbursts, because like, oh, at least I could feel that again. Because I think anger has a very similar, maybe, and I'll have to do more research on this, but I do wonder if there are similar kind of dopamitic responses to anger and flow states. If they are similar, that release. And I do think that this is the importance of having a physical connection to the body, of doing some form of athletics that allows you to get to that flow state. And maybe that's not athletics for you, but I do think a connection, mind, body, and soul, is vital. And we can't really get away with not moving our bodies. It's not an option. We don't have to be abusive about it, but we do have to move our bodies and figure out what feels good for those bodies. Because my bodies need breath. They need running. They need movement, like a constant amount of movement. It's a little intimidating. Most people are like, yeah, I could just chill on the couch all day. I could, but I'd have to be writing. I could, but I'd have to be reading. I could, but I'd have to be oh no. We're going to get up. We're going to walk. We're going to move. We're going to play. We're going to build. We're going to do whatever. And some people are just wired that way. I will say my second born is certainly wired that way. We've learned to wear her all the way out. And I think some people are just naturally wired that way, and some people are naturally wired the other way. And they will probably get married. And it'll be another beautiful balance, because my husband, though he is also very active, very fun, very playful, he definitely understands the importance of rest and balance. There's a really great song that always reminds me of us and what he does for me. Very specifically. What is it called? Spotify. Slow It Down. And in this song, they're talking about how he sort of forces her to slow down as she's almost spinning into what could be. No. She's kind of talking about all the things that haven't been and all the dreams that maybe aren't going to. And he's like, hey, we gotta quit the spinning. And then eventually he's in his own spin of reality. And it's a beautiful song. And I think we all as humans have a tendency to kind of spin off into our own insecurities, heads, safeties, unsafeties, into what would be, could be, should be, isn't, is, all of these narratives. And so that song just always speaks to me because I think the beauty of our relationship and the yin and yang of who we are really comes down to him forcing me to slow down, to be okay if we don't get the schedule right today, to be okay if everything is not exactly how I imagined it, to be okay with just saying no and stepping back and doing what's best for our family and for ourselves. And I think he has done the best job at not only pushing me, but also slowing me. Like putting things into a really beautiful perspective. And this only grows the desire that much more, right? You know, the desire to give that same kind of treatment back, to create a life that really gives us both everything that we desire together as a couple and individually, to kind of just make good on the dream life, right? And I don't know. I think desire is so tough because we have been built to kind of superficially desire so many things and have not have tapped into our biological desires. The important ones, like, ooh, I am hungry. And there are a lot of weight loss procedures, weight loss drugs that are like hell bent on replacing that biological desire for food, for replenishing our bodies. And it essentially just removes us from the pain of that. And when we remove ourselves from the pain of anything, we remove our ability to heal ourselves, to sink deeper into the cause of that, which is probably what we're trying to avoid in the first place, right? And it's this chaotic little dance that we are in right now, where we are nearly removing all of our desires. We don't even trust our own biological desire to eat. Wild. We're not even safe enough in our own bodies to trust our desire for food. And that's not unfair. It's almost it's actually unfair, you know, because not only are there are all these drugs, there are also all of these foods that are scientifically engineered to mess with our heads. So even if we desired that thing, we probably couldn't understand the length of that desire appropriately. If we ate one chip, we'd certainly have to eat the whole bag. They have entire marketing uh, dollars banking on that, right? You bet you can't just eat one. And so, y'all, it is no wonder because most people are safe enough to have rooted to something, even if it's superficial. You at least have enough safety that you know where your next meal is coming from, that you'll be able to sleep under shelter tonight in a warm, protected home. Most of us have enough of that. And so next would be desire, and we'd start climbing into our power space. But because desire is so fucked it with right now, like desire is on all fronts defense. we don't know what we desire. Because it is like so scientifically studied that like there will come a day, if we don't save these sacred human connected spaces, there will come a day where we don't even make our own decisions because we don't know how. And think about it. How are we not headed that direction? We don't trust our desire to eat what we want when we want. We don't trust that we would make the right decisions. We don't trust that we know what the right decisions are. We don't trust that this fake food that's the exact same tasting as a chocolate lava cake that would be 700,000 calories is only 2, but it tastes the same? No. Right? We don't trust those desires. We don't trust those cravings. We don't trust them. And it's fair. Okay? Drugs, slim fast, diet culture, weight loss culture, now Ozempic entering the ring, the amount of money that goes into food science research. Why would we trust our own instincts? We don't even know what real food is anymore. It's wild. So wild. So we don't trust that, just that very natural desire for food. Literally, we're born with this weaning and want. So it is a very natural desire. I am hungry. I am going to cry. We don't trust that anymore. We don't trust that. We don't let ourselves feel that desire. No, that's unsafe. No. We don't let ourselves desire the person that we're with or the person that we want to be with. We don't let that happen for some reasons. Even that has gone very digital, you know. People are marrying AIs at this point. Like, we don't even trust that we could desire some just natural human. We don't trust that we would still desire them after so many years. We don't trust that can be built over time, that these relationships are worth investing in. We just like have so much conflicted desire because we're just letting computers think for us at this point. Even if you're desiring a relationship, like, we're just letting dating apps decide who should or shouldn't come across our screen. So we just assume that this is the right person for us, but there's no, oh, I bumped into you and I felt that charge. I mean, I remember meeting my husband for the first time and being like, woof, oh, good Lord. Doc Martens, buckle jeans, gelled hair, and a yellow Mustang. Okay. Check, 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 check. Yes. That I desire. And it started as a Facebook message, but it was like, that was not algorithmic. That was, I know someone you know, and I have a question for you. That was following your curiosity. That was me following my desire. And boom, volts of electricity, unquestioned desire. And how many times are we trusting our desires in this life anymore? Are we giving into them fully and just moving through life? And I get that that is complicated because of how many people are directing our desire. But when did we trust our desire last? And when were we desired? You know, maybe as a spouse, maybe as a friend, maybe as a business owner. Like, how do we even know anymore that the desire is real? I think that's going to be a very tough question to answer. If we don't turn around food and drug industries in this country, I think that is going to get harder and harder to answer because we don't really even trust our desire for grief or depression or rest. We don't trust it, but we also don't give in to it. Probably because we don't trust it. Okay, all right, all right. As always, you're smart, you're strong, you're beautiful. What are you going to do? Change the